Hello students, in this class we'll see inheritance. First of all, you need to understand what actually the inheritance means, literally. Inherit simply means acquiring the property. Children acquire property of their parents the same way. Here also, one class will acquire the property of the another class. Why it is important? Suppose you are making a program and you need lot of classes and all, but there is something which will be common in all the classes. Like if you take example of animal. So all the animals, normally all the animals have few things in common. So what are these common things? They have four legs, they live in jungle, they have two eyes, they have teeth. So few things are common, no matter they are wild animal or pet animal or herbivorous animal or omnivorous. Few things are common in them, but still few things are not common in them. So all those things which are common in them can be categorized or can be kept in one class. Yes, these things will be common to all the elements. So those things are kept in a single class, and that is considered as the superclass. And again, if we are making new classes, then all those common things are needed. So we'll inherit the property of that superclass, and we can add additional features in the subclass. So this is the main purpose of inheritance, reusability, and thus it can be managed. If you'll make change in one class, then whichever class has inherited this class, one class or the super class, the parent class, the changes will be reflected to all other classes. Suppose you have to make 10 class, suppose this, and in all those 10 class, suppose they need seven elements, means they all have, we have 10 classes and all those 10 classes have seven functions each in them. And suppose that five data is there, suppose this, you have to make 10 classes having five data and seven functions in each of them. Clear? Now the second point is, out of those five data, two data is common in all of them. In all of them, the two data is common. And out of seven functions, four functions are common in all of them. So what, we can make separate classes, each having its own set of the data and the function in. But what we can do, we can define a class having that two data and that four function in this one class, and then we'll make 10 classes, and in all these 10 classes will inherit the property of this one class. So thus what we will be able to do, we do not need to define in each class those two data and four functions. Why? Because those two data and four functions are common in all those, and we have taken out all the common things and we have kept it in one class. And now what we'll do, we'll inherit. So this one class will be inherited by this main class. This super class will be inherited by class 1, then class 2, then class 3, then class 4, and like 10. So this is how all have acquired the same property. Now, what differences are there? We'll have to define in those separate classes, 1, 2, 3. The differences have to be defined, but the common thing just need to be defined in one class, and then that class is inherited. Now, if suppose a requirement arised, no, all the common things, a little change has to be done made in one of the function of, out of four function which are common enough. So we need to just make change in one class, and making change in that one class will reflect to all other class. But if we are not using inheritance, Then what we'll have to do, if we need to make change, then we'll have to make change in one class, then two class, then third class, fourth, fifth, like 10. All the 10 classes will have to make changes. But if we are using inheritance, then these these things, these facilities, you will be able to enjoy. So let us now technically see this. Inheritance is one of the cornerstones of the object-oriented programming because it allows the creation of hierarchical classification. Hierarchical means what? This under this two, then this kind of arrangement, hierarchical. Using inheritance, you can create a general class that defines traits common to a set of related items. That's what I just explained. If a common trait is there, then you can define a general class, and rest of the class will inherit those common traits. This can then be inherited by other more specific classes, each adding those things that are unique to it. Means after acquiring the common things, they can add unique facilities or features in each class. So in the terminology of Java, a class that is inherited is called superclass. जिस class को हम inherit करते हैं, that is called superclass. The class that does the inheriting is called subclass, which is inheriting is called subclass. Parent class and child class also you may say. Therefore, a subclass is a specialized version of the superclass. Superclass का ये specialized version है. Now you can understand this with another example. Suppose we are making a car. If you have car of 1 lakh rupee or if you have car of 10 crore rupee, some things are common in them. They all have four wheels, they all have seats, they all have engines. But these common things can be kept in one class, but yet they have a lot of different facilities and features. They can be specialized in their specific classes. So this is the kind of thing that you have to understand about inheritance. Means these features can be used when you are making a real life project, and if you have to make a lot of classes, and if you find that yes, few things are common in all the classes, then why not to specify all the common things in one class, and then we can add unique features to the subclasses, and then we can use it. So this will be clear when you will see some examples. This was just the concept. Well, so what to leave this one line? It inherits all the members defined by superclass and adds an own unique element. When you inherit any superclass, then all the members get inherited to the subclass, but with some restrictions. What are the restrictions? We'll see them later, but let me tell you now. All the public, all the public elements, all the public members of the superclass only get inherited in the subclass. Private members are not inherited. Remember this. Private members of the superclass are not inherited. One more access specifier is there, which is protected, which has been which was just introduced but not discussed clearly. Now this is the right time, not right time actually, but here it need to be discussed. Protected. By default, all the things are public, you know this, and when you inherit it, all things get inherited. But if explicitly if we've specified some elements private, then those private element of the superclass are not inheritable. So what? So there is another access specifier, which is called protected. So if you are making any member protected, then what happens? Those protected members are inherited, but after getting inherited, they become private member in the inheriting class. In simple words, let me explain. सुपर क्लास का सारा पब्लिक मेंबर ही सिर्फ इनहेरिट हो सकता है, प्राइवेट मेंबर किसी कीमत पर इनहेरिट नहीं होगा. पॉइंट वन. पॉइंट टू इज, अगर किसी एलिमेंट को या मेंबर को, डेटा मेंबर फंक्शन को हमने प्रोटेक्टेड बनाया है, जैसे पब्लिक आईएनटी लिखते हैं वैसे प्रोटेक्टेड आईएनटी भी लिख सकते हैं। प्रोटेक्टेड अगर हमने बनाया है तो प्रोटेक्टेड जो है सुपर क्लास में वो इनहेरिट होगा, मगर इनहेरिट होने के बाद वो जिस नए क्लास में इनहेरिट हुआ है वहां जाके वो प्राइवेट मेंबर की तरह बिहेव करेगा। why why so what's what is this then? मतलब ये है कि सुपर क्लास ये है, उससे हमने इनहेरिट करके ये सब क्लास बनाया, तो हम इस सब क्लास को भी इनहेरिट फर्दर कर सकते हैं। यस, तो इस सुपर क्लास का सारा पब्लिक मेंबर इसका पब्लिक हो गया, मगर इसका प्रोटेक्टेड मेंबर सुपर क्लास का इसका प्राइवेट हो गया। तो जब हम फर्दर इसे इनहेरिट करेंगे तो इसका पब्लिक मेंबर तो ये इनहेरिट कर पाएगा, बट इसका प्राइवेट जो कि ऊपर से प्रोटेक्टेड से यहाँ आया तो प्राइवेट हो गया, दिस कैंट बी इनहेरिटेड हियर फर्दर। ओके, so this restriction is there. We'll see these all things, but this is the basic thing. So inheritance basics: to inherit a class, what to do for this? You simply incorporate the definition of one class into another class by using the extend keyword. Extend keyword की मदद से हम लोग ये काम करते हैं। कैसे करते हैं? We'll see with example. These all things are simple. So let us see a small example here. Let us suppose that there is a superclass whose name is A. The name of class is capital A. And we have to make a subclass that is capital B. Now, look at this. And what you have to notice how the keyword extends is used to create subclass of A. Okay, extends is the keyword. Extend is not extends. Is lagana hai. So, quite simple example. Look, this is class A. Look what we are doing. We are defining int I and j to public. Although we have not specified public, but they are public. By default, they are public. Void is also public. So what I'm doing, we are making two data members I and j. Then we are making a member function so ij. Obviously, the name suggests that it will display the value of I and j simply. Now what? Look, this class, this function ends here, and this class ends here. Now you might think super class should be super, means a lot of things should be there. No. That's not the case. Super class means it will be super. Super class is just like a normal class, but which is it can be inherited. Although any class can be inherited. So now see, class B, we normally make another class like class B, but this time what we have to do, we have to write this keyword extends in a small, all smalls, and then the name of class which you want to extend, which you want to inherit A. So as per the definition or as per the property of inheritance, what will happen? All the data members which are public and protected. So in this case, we have only two data members and one member. All these, two data and one function will be inherited to B. They all have become the part of B also. Although we do not need to define anything like such, but it has become the part of B also, class B. But yet we are adding unique feature to B also. We are adding one more data to B, and we are adding one more function to B, where it is displaying. So you can see that in class B, its uniqueness is added, only K is added, and so K function is there. But we have extended A. It means that I and J has also become the part of B, and so IJ has also become the part of B. See how. Another example, another function is there in class B, which is sum. And see what it is doing. It is adding I, J, and K. Although you must see that I, J is not defined here. I, J is defined in class A. But since it is extended, and therefore we can use I and J also here. Okay. Now see, this is the end of the sum function. This is the end of the class B. Now we have another class having the main function, simple inheritance, example of simple. Always try to learn things with the simplest possible example. And after that, you can make it complicated. So public main function, look what we are doing. A is the name of class. Super object, we are just making an object. It's quite simple. Don't get confused. We are making an object of class A. Although since beginning we are making class name as lengthy and OB1, OB2, we were like, no. This is also the same thing. This is A is the name of class, and this is the name of object. No problem. And new A, simple way of defining an object. And sub OB is the object of class B. Till this point also nothing so serious, easy. Now what? The super class may be used by itself. Okay. Now what we are doing? Super OB dot I equal to 10. We are assigning value to I 10 and J 20. Super. Look at this. I and J. इस ऑब्जेक्ट का I and J का वैल्यू ये हो गया. System dot out dot println contents of super OB. So ij function is called, so it will show the value of I and J for this object. You know these things, very simple. Okay, a blank println just to print one extra line. Now the subclass has access to all the public member of its superclass. सारे पब्लिक मेंबर को एक्सेस कर सकता है. अब देखिए सब ओबी, जो कि सब ओबी इज द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ क्लास बी. अब आप देखिए कि कितना आसानी से हम लोग आई, चूंकि मैंने बताया आपको कि इनहेरिट जब हम करते हैं तो इसका सारा कंटेंट इसका भी कंटेंट बन जाता है. वो दिखता नहीं है बट वो हो गया. अब आप चूंकि एक्सटेंड कर लिए हैं, इनहेरिट कर लिए, तो समझिए कि वो हो गया. और उसी को समझते हुए आप उसको नॉर्मली यूज कर सकते हैं. देखिए सब ओबी आई, आई क्लास ए का कंटेंट है. सब ओबी हमारा क्लास बी का ऑब्जेक्ट है, मगर हम लोग आसानी से आई को यूज कर रहे हैं. उसका वैल्यू 7 कर रहे हैं, जे का वैल्यू 1 कर रहे हैं और के का वैल्यू को 9 कर रहे हैं. देखिए ये है असली इस्तेमाल इनहेरिटेंस का. Although if you'll see that we have not defined I and J in class B, but yet we are using this as it is, as if it is there. And this is what inheritance allows you to do. Now see, content of sub OB. So ij function को भी हम लोग आसानी से यूज कर पा रहे हैं उसमें, और वो i j का वैल्यू दिखाएगा, यानी 7 और 8 दिखाएगा, और k का वैल्यू भी दिखाएगा 9. और तो और वो सब जोड़ भी सकता है. लुक, सम फंक्शन जब हमने कॉल किया तो i j वो सब जोड़ रहा है. लुक, so this is what inheritance is. So you can find this program. I'm scrolling it up and down. You can type this program and you can execute it and see it is working. And then you can make your own set of programs to see whether inheritance is working or not. And of course, it will work. So I think enough for today's class. We'll see more about this in our next class. Thank you, dear students.